Oh, and here we are. Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. Me and my old man glasses. My dad, Norm LaMadeline.
The old man.
Marty,
The old
Marty
man,
Mad
the old
Dog
man.
Murphy. And I am. I'm the baby of the set, but you wouldn't know by looking at it. Look at me with my glasses. Anyways, welcome to the show. And did you guys have a good 4th?
Oh, excellent
Yeah,
fourth.
good
Very
fourth,
nice.
yeah.
That's quite
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah, it was a great 4th of July. I was up at Gloucester, Mass, and tell you, very patriotic. Great flags everywhere. Great, what do you call it? Firework display. I think, I went to Plymouth a couple of years ago, to Plymouth Rock, and I'll tell you what, I saw a shirt that said Massachusetts is America, and you know what? I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I don't love all the Massachusetts folks, and I certainly don't like the Red Sox, but I like Boston, and I like all their seaports, and
That's where it all started, though. You know?
yeah.
There is, wouldn't be for
Yeah.
the Tea Party and
Yep.
the Minutemen.
Yep.
You know.
Well, they said that Gloucester is actually it's going to be the 400th anniversary next year, and starting in 1623 all the way up to a long time.
Yeah.
They that part of Boston all the way up to Canada was like the home for fishing and whaling in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So, so it's pretty cool. I would definitely suggest it.
That's where they got their lighting too. They lit up the world too. With the
the
whale oil.
right, the whale oil, right?
you may not remember, but your dad knows. When you're on a military base, when it comes to 4th of July,
Yeah.
see a firework display.
Yeah.
The military knows how to do it right.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember now Fort Lee in Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
I remember some of the other places my son was stationed, 4th of July. The military does it right.
Well, a lot of them have cannons. They just fire off cannons.
Wow.
You know, it's unbelievable, especially West Point.
Yeah.
Got cannons everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Good. Well, they should.
Yeah,
They
absolutely,
should.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a celebration of our country, and you know what? I'm glad to see there's some patriotism left in this world.
Love the 4th of July.
Ugh.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of West Point, just because I saw it today, is the Yukon Huskies football team is actually ending their season at Army this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Great.
okay.
Great.
I'm going to go for the game.
Yeah. Nice.
Talk to my son.
It'd be a cool road trip, but you know what? Marty, they're not doing a Yale Yukon game again this year,
Oh,
which
no.
they played 1 year, which makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. I thought they'd at least be like a home and home in a game at the Yale Bowl this year. And needless to say, it was Yukon football's only win last year, so why wouldn't Yukon be all over that?
Yeah.
I'll word this right. Yale was probably offered a better conference, non-conference conference
right,
team
right.
versus playing an independent.
Right.
Now you got to understand when you talk about UConn football now, you're able to watch a lot of schools sit there and say, you're not affiliated with the conference. You, as an independent, you're not good enough
Right.
to make a difference on our schedule, so
Right.
we don't want to play you.
Right. It's true. It's true.
I mean, I can understand with Yale it doesn't make a difference, or any team in the Ivy League doesn't make a difference,
Right.
because they don't go to bowl games.
Yeah, and for the most part, their schedule is
so,
always
I mean,
Ivy League heavy,
Yeah,
always.
So
Yeah.
the only thing I can
It's too
think,
bad. That was great for the state, though.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of is that Yale feels that they got lucky last year.
They didn't, though. I was at the game. You got whipped them. It was unbelievable.
Well, it's still a good season, though, right? Didn't they win their conference? I'd say.
I don't think they won their conference, but they did have a good season. Yale's got good football. They
Yeah.
always do.
Well, UConn doesn't, so that's another thing too. We got a long ways to go to rebuild that team.
Oh, it's
I,
awful.
I,
Absolutely
when it comes to UConn, I said it before. What they need to do is they need to get rid of the I'm independent.
Right.
What they need to do is say I'm not a Division I team anymore.
Yeah.
What they need to do is they need to suck it up and say, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Division II. I'm gonna make a great Division II team, and get borderline Division II players coming to my school, and then I'm gonna try and make the jump back into Division I, like I did the first time.
Yeah, I mean, we know it. All three of us have talked about it. They live off the basketball program. They really do. Enough said.
Because the state of Connecticut, the people that run our state universities, have, especially in the sports department at UConn, have no clue.
Well, what we had when I was at college was the Yankee Conference, and they
Yeah.
had some real good games.
Right.
And not only played New Hampshire, Vermont, they also threw in Yale. Definitely it was Yale.
Yeah,
They
right.
probably
I mean,
threw
they
in
always played
Harvard,
Yale.
maybe.
Yeah.
And Holy Cross. They played Holy Cross. And they had a great division. And UConn usually, they end up 7 or 8 wins, and and then they end up playing each other. And
Yeah.
the big rivals were UMass, and every year you'd be between UMass, and that was the UConn Yale game was the UConn Mass game. Mass game.
Yeah. And UMass is back on the schedule, and
Yeah.
they've been for a couple of years.
And Rhode
I
Island
think-
too, right? Every once in a while, Rhode Island gets on.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can still put a Yankee conference together.
Absolutely. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I
They
mean,
should.
I mean, here's the thing. It makes sense, but in order to do it, you'd have to have one college president, and sports guy say, hey, let's do this, and get the other colleges to jump in on board and do it.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody is afraid of UConn when it comes to their football program because they've watched it go from being Division II, get up there, get all the way to Fiesta Bowl,
Yeah.
and then fizzle out and become nothing but garbage. So
Yeah.
nobody wants to touch UConn because of it.
And there were some great
was a
games at Rensselaer Field back then. Though, man. I mean,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
we saw Navy, Dad. I
Yeah.
mean, I saw some great games.
Navy,
against
Army every year.
USF, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
There
saw
were
some
some
great,
games up there.
Yeah.
I saw some great games there too.
It's a shame.
But
It's a real shame.
That was the AAC, which is breaking up too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow.
But they were really- they were
It's only
really-
lasted
really-
a couple of years.
Well,
I didn't know. It was
Well, you
breaking
got
up.
Cincinnati
What-
they think they're,
No,
that they're better,
no,
so they're
Right,
moving out.
right. They're
Yeah.
moving to bigger and better.
And
Well,
Houston,
he-
these teams are moving up because
Here's-
they think they're
here's what happened.
Right,
Once UConn dumped the AAC, and it wasn't dumping the AAC football. Once UConn dumped the AAC basketball, Cincinnati,
Yeah, that was
Houston,
that was-
Memphis, they had no need for the other colleges that were borderline football schools, more basketball oriented schools. They had no need for them anymore, and with the way that the big conference teams are trying to get bigger, you knew for a fact Cincinnati, Ohio, you might grab Cincinnati into the Big Ten.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
They're all the
not-
targets. They're all moving out.
and
Right,
not, and
right.
not,
They're all going elsewhere, right?
and now you got an even bigger Big Ten rivalry in state.
Right. You know what? Let's talk baseball.
Okay.
Before we do though, just because we're talking football, I don't even know if you guys. I forgot to ask you guys, but did either of you watch the USFL championship game?
No, I didn't get to watch
It
it.
was July 3rd. So
We
it was-
went out. Yeah, we went out that day,
Yeah,
so we didn't get to watch it.
Well, it was live on Fox at like 7:30 p.m. So like I caught the fourth quarter. Let me tell you, it was a shootout in the end.
Yeah.
And Birmingham ended up winning 33-30 on like a pick six or something.
Oh.
It really was an exciting ending.
Great, nice.
Now I don't know that they could say that their first season was a success by any means, but they got through it. And even like I guess Daryl Johnson, the old fullback for the Cowboys,
Yeah.
is like the owner of the league or the commissioner of the league or something. And they even showed him at the end walking out the trophy with white gloves on.
Oh, nice.
The little Stanley Cup
Yeah.
action.
Oh, it's
And I was like, you know what? I was like, wow. I mean, I guess they really are trying to do different things.
Well, the only thing I could say is the season itself was nothing. I'm surprised.
Right.
I will say this right. I am surprised they even made it to the
Well,
championship.
that I was too, to be honest.
because
No fan
I'll
base.
tell you the biggest difference is the All American Football League that started before that, which had a lot of innovations, good football, was drawing decent fans because they played in different cities. I mean, you knew Birmingham was going to the championship game, and you said Birmingham won.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the first away game they played. I think they played the championship game in Las Vegas?
No, they played it at the Hall of Fame
Oh, yeah.
field in Canton,
Yeah.
Ohio.
So that was Birmingham's only road game. What the USFL did wrong was they played every single game at Birmingham's home field. Just when it was supposed to be another team's home field, the only thing they did is they made Birmingham stand on the other side of the field from being the home team instead of visitor. That's the reason why if you ever watched a regular season game, you were lucky if there was 300 fans in the stadium.
Well, Alabama's not a good football market anyway, except for the University of Alabama.
Yeah,
I would think.
But, you
Well,
know,
yeah,
Right, for
come on,
college football for sure. Right.
that's about it.
When it comes to Alabama, you want to talk Alabama football. You're talking Auburn,
Yeah, Auburn, yeah.
Alabama,
Yeah.
and Troy University. Those three colleges
That's
draw the most fans in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not drawing fans from Florida and Georgia and all
exactly.
that stuff.
And you
And
got
that's
teams-
what they should.
Right, and you
And
got
then that's
teams-
why they need to move from one place to the other.
Right.
And Tampa might have a good market. New York may have a good market. New Jersey may have a good market.
Well,
But you got to play there.
Right.
But
But let's see if there's a second season
Yeah.
and if they're going to expand, if teams
Yeah.
going to move, that type of thing.
well, what you're hoping for is that over COVID and everything, they decided this year that they, still being somewhat COVID conscious,
Yeah.
they decided to do them all in Birmingham. It's going to be interesting to see if there's a second season,
yeah.
if they play home games in New York, in Tampa, and I think was there an Iowa? I can't remember all the teams.
Davenport?
There was only 8 teams, and Iowa
Vegas.
did
I
not
know.
have
I know Tampa had a team.
Vegas.
New York had a team. Vegas had a team.
Vegas had a team, right?
Alabama had a team. So there's
There's
four.
4 right there. Yeah. I'd have to look at the standings to be honest with you. And Philadelphia had a team, right? Philadelphia
Yeah.
was the losing team.
Yeah, I
in
think.
the
Yeah,
championship.
Philly had a team.
Yeah.
I don't know if LA had a team or not,
Yeah.
but they probably
New
did.
Jersey, the Generals.
Yeah.
The Generals were in there. So anyways, needless to say, hopefully there'll be a next season. But
Well, the XFL will be here next year.
yeah,
So.
this is-
XFL too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you know what, boys? There'll be days where we can talk football. We have to talk Yankee Red Sox baseball
Oh,
for
Okay.
sure.
What
You
a
know?
weekend. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
weekend. Typical
Well,
Yankee Red Sox.
Yeah, it's crazy because I watched a little bit of Thursday and a little bit of Friday, and
Yeah.
the Yanks were just on fire, whipping them. And then didn't see Saturday at all. Turned on yesterday. The Yanks were up 6-3. Went to a different show or whatever. Oh, it's early. It's the 4th inning. I go back and
Yeah.
it's 7-6 Red Sox, and then I wake up this morning as 11-6 Red Sox. I'm like, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys watch more than me. So
Yeah.
what'd you see that?
Well, the whole weekend was great.
Yeah.
And the Yankees did very well, but the Red Sox always had runners on base. They were in the game the whole time. And, the Yankees were lucky to pull out the first game. The second game, they were smacking the ball. They were all over that green monster. Doubles here, home runs there, and
Yeah.
everything else. And it was like 11-5, I guess it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Yanks scored a
And-
ton of runs.
But the Red Sox
Love it.
still had runners on base.
Yeah.
And I think he left 13 runners on base. So they're in the game. They needed a big hit. Well, they broke through.
Yeah.
The second and third and the third, fourth game, like they do in Fenway, they broke through.
Right.
And so even a good Yankee pitching, it lasted 4 or 5 innings, but
Right.
the bullpen didn't work out.
Right. And 4 or 5 innings is a quality start at Fenway. It really is.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah.
really is.
But and we were talking about earlier. When it comes to the Yankees Red Sox,
Yeah.
makes no difference who the better team is.
Absolutely, that's what it
Makes
was.
no difference. When it comes down to the end of the season, when you look at the head-to-head, it's going to be 10-9, 11-8. It's going to be really, really close.
Yeah.
Who has the most wins? You don't know. But it's always going to be that close. It's not going to be like when the Yankees being 15-4 against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know what? I mean, we're going to see, 3 more or 4 more coming up?
3 more.
The last
Friday,
3
Saturday,
games,
Saturday, Sunday.
And the last 3 games before the All-Star break. So, yes, the Yankees have a comfortable lead right now, 14 games over the Sox. But you know what? The Sox, remember, it started off horrible.
Yeah.
And at least they're, 8 games over 500 now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and with a whole second half to play.
Yeah.
Well,
and I
they
love
also-
it. Go ahead.
Well, Devers is out. Their best player has been out. They're going to be playing Tampa Bay now, so we'll see what that's all about. But they're coming out of it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Devers is coming back,
Right.
and Sale is coming back too, I suppose.
Yeah, I
So they're
heard
going to see a different Red Sox team, and I think their wins over the Yankees is a big thing because they were celebrating.
Yeah.
How about-
yeah,
They really thought it was
It's
really
always a
great.
celebration,
Oh,
right?
they were celebrating.
Especially Saturday's win.
Oh, they were
Saturday.
going crazy in Boston.
We remember who got the game-winning hit?
It was Dieter.
Jeter
yeah,
down.
Jeter.
Oh,
Jeter down.
Yeah, Jeter.
Jeter Downs.
Jeter Downs.
Jeter Downs.
As a matter of fact, he got 2 hits both days. Yesterday he got one too.
Jeter
So
Downs go.
So the
go
Yankees
win
have
winning
another
run.
nemesis
Oh,
now.
can you imagine?
Another nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ironic thing is Jeter doing it for the Red Sox instead of doing it for the
Yeah,
Yankees.
Oh,
Well, you know what?
geez.
And that's how I knew Sunday morning. I woke up
Yeah.
to a headline that said, "Can you imagine Jeter beats Yankees or something?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "What?"
Jeter, Jeter, yeah.
And they did say,
Yeah.
obviously he was named after Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
And you don't see many kids named Jeter, anyways. But maybe
Jeter,
you
yeah.
will moving forward. I
That's
don't
his
know.
first name, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeter.
I would think that
Jeter
Derek
Downs.
maybe,
Jeter
but
Downs.
Jeter, I don't, I don't see it.
Jeter Downs.
So now, if this kid ends up being a legit star and everything else, he's going to be a nemesis now. For
Oh,
many years,
absolutely.
you know?
And matter of fact, he's supposed to report to the minor league team, and they instead of going to the minor league team, I guess because Devers is out or something, that they brought him up.
Wow.
So he was not even supposed to be there.
Holy cow, that's a great story.
So
That's
for
a
the
great
two,
story.
yeah, you're gonna hear a lot about him.
Right. So he may be up and down all year, but if he continues to
Yeah.
play well, he will eventually
I mean,
find a
he's
spot.
still a young kid, so.
Probably has a 600 batting average already.
Right. You know what? He probably should
Yeah,
retire.
he's-
you know?
yeah,
I've
right,
got a
exactly.
600 in Major League.
Oh wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's we talk about dog fights, and you know what? The Red Sox are far from dead. And let's face it, they don't need to win the division anyways.
Oh yeah, and I always like to throw this in everybody's face, especially usually it's when the Yankees are behind. I always like to throw it in everybody's face. So don't forget '78.
Oh yeah.
The Yankees went.
And about 2004 was just the opposite.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Remember '78. The Yankees went into the end of July. They were 14 and a half games behind the Red Sox.
Yeah.
They ended up
remember.
playing
I
a
was a kid,
playoff
but,
game.
yep.
Ended up playing a
Okay, but I
playoff game
remember
in
it.
Boston to decide who was going to the playoffs.
And there was no expanded, playoffs.
No.
There's none of
No,
that.
that's right. None of that.
Yep.
Well, you know what the big thing's going to be is who takes the division and beating all the teams. And the Yankees lost it last year. They lost so many to Baltimore and Toronto and Tampa Bay that they were at, these are major losses, and that's why Tampa Bay won their division.
Right.
But if they would have been head to head, and the Yankees have done better in the American League East, they could have taken the division and then been a home team, home team all the way through.
Well,
Right.
But then they ended up against Houston, right? They were the wild card.
Yeah.
So
No. Last year they lost to the Red Sox in the wild card game.
the Red Sox and then Houston won the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right.
But previous to that, though, the same thing happened when Houston ended up beating the team that was it the Yankees. Tampa Bay last year. The Yankees were beat the
Yeah,
Red Sox.
I can't even tell you about last year because it's just.
But the thing is, it's so important to win all those games in your division
absolutely.
and
Yes.
to take your division.
Yeah.
That way you can move ahead as a whole team.
And this year the way the playoffs are set up.
Which I don't even know. There's an extra team now, right?
Yeah. The way it's set up is the
Let's
first
get rid of some regular season games.
the
if they're gonna
first-
do
Oh,
this.
the
yeah.
first two teams, the highest two division winning teams
Which hopefully will be the Yankees
get a bye.
and the Mets. The Yankees and the Mets.
Yeah, hopefully,
No,
yeah.
so it'll be like right now it would be the Yankees and Houston
Right.
have the bye.
All right. So 2 buys on each side.
Yeah, and then the Twins would play the worst because they're winning Central. Would play the worst of the wild card teams,
Right.
and the other two wild card teams play against each other.
So there's gonna be
They were-
2,
Yeah,
4, 6 teams in each side.
Yeah, it's a five, and if I remember right, it's a 5-game series.
Ugh. So the Yanks or whoever, the best teams will have a week off.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that's good for baseball.
And I
No,
think
they're
I think
cold.
if I remember right, it's a 3-game series played in one stadium. So the higher seed gets the home games. You play the best out of 3.
Right. So the Twins right now would get that. And they
We'll
would
get the
play
home games.
Bush, right.
Whoever the best wild card team would be the other one that gets the home field game, and they would play the best out of 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after that, it would be whoever won, whoever had the best record in the American League.
Okay.
Let's say the Yankees, they would get the worst of the 2 teams
That remaining.
that were
teams.
remaining,
Right.
and the Astros would get the other one.
Wow. You know what? And here's
And that would be a 5-game series.
right.
And then it would be a 7-game series to win the World
Right.
Series. To win the championship and then to win the
Right.
World Series.
So baseball now that they've extended it a week as well that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
They are easily going to get into November.
They're looking. I think if
Yeah.
they figured it out that
And here we are talking about the NHL and the NBA getting to July 4th.
Yeah, right. It's July
if we
4th, yeah.
if I have it figured out right, if everything goes to the max amount of games, you would look at the World Series championship being announced 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
You know,
jeez.
I just,
Because you got
Wow.
you got to remember you're talking you're not finishing till October 8th. I think it's the last
yeah.
regular season
Yeah,
game.
because you guys were talking
Yeah.
about it. They extended it on the back end this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
3 games, right?
yeah, 3 games.
Still, it's an extra
But-
3 or 4 days.
But I mean, the thing is, you could not take, and I'm me, one of those guys that worked every single day, every day, for a very long time. But you basically would have had the players have because they didn't want to put double headers in. Basically, would have had to work 160 days straight, no days off, in order to finish the schedule where they wanted to finish before the strike, before the owners locked them out.
Lockout, yeah, the lockout. Oh,
whatever you
jeez,
want to call it.
yeah.
Hey, before we forget that, you said you have some Sue Bird news, and Sue Bird obviously, I mean, unless you're living under a rock, is a legend in Connecticut. But she's finally calling it quits in her WNBA career.
Well, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on here with the WNBA All-Star game. First of all, they break up into 2 teams, and one of them is Team Wilson, named after what was her name?
Asia Wilson.
Angela Wilson,
Yeah.
and then the other one is Brianna.
Brianna Stewart?
Brianna Stewart. So they're 2 different teams, and the final score was 134 to 112, which is kind of men's NBA-ish style
Yeah,
or whatever.
Very
play no
NBA.
But that,
Play no defense.
so that's there was no defense, right? And then what they did is they all wore number 42 to honor Brittany Grimer, who's in Russia and being detained since February, right?
Right.
February, where they found a vape canister containing cannabis oil in her luggage.
Wow.
This is an 8-time All-Star woman. She was an 8-time All-Star. She pleaded guilty Thursday to drug possession charges that could see and sentence up to 10 years in prison. So the
in Russia, right?
in Russia.
In
Oh
Russia,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what she plays. I guess in order to.
Well, that's what she was playing at the time because it was during the summer.
Yeah.
Because she makes a lot more money over
So
there.
it's summer. Okay. So
And
it's
what happened?
Summer
What
league?
happened was she got caught with it on her
Yeah.
when she was trying to come home, and over there they don't agree to it. They don't believe that it's to them it's a banned substance. So
Yeah.
they locked her up. And the thing that bothers me is 2 things that bother me is one, nobody had the guts to call them out on it because they're trying to say that she brought it to distribute. The amount of and that's in the other for basically as a distributor.
Yeah.
She did not have enough to be a distributor. She had maybe a 4-day supply. And they were saying
It doesn't matter. You know what? She's in a foreign country,
Yeah.
and it's against the law. I don't feel bad for her.
I
at
don't
all.
either, but I mean,
Well.
the biggest thing that bothers me is everybody's crying, bring her home, bring her home, bring her home. And I'm sorry, when you're one of those players that want to disrespect the military and disrespect the country by kneeling for the flag, if you have that kind of contempt for our country,
Did she do that?
yeah, that's what you did.
Brittany did too,
Yep,
yeah.
that's what you did.
Oh, okay.
And
right,
I mean, if you're like it's better everywhere else, and we're bad people over here, then what you got over there, you deserved.
And she wants Biden to bail her out
Yep.
after all that.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Well, anyway, they're all wearing number 42s,
Yep.
and Sue Bird was leading the parade, I guess, and she this is supposed to be her last All-Star game. She's been around for a long time. Now,
Very long time.
I'm thinking, what years does she play at UConn? Probably the early
Early 2000s.
2000, I think 2002 was her
Yeah,
last.
she's
Wow.
been in the
I
league
think
for
2002
probably
was
20 years. I
I
wouldn't
think,
doubt
I
it.
think 2002
Wow,
was
that's
her
amazing.
last year. I think 2004 was Tarazi's last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? It's funny Marty says that because I saw an interview with Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, and they always played in Europe as well. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
made tons of
Oh,
money
yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
you know the game was the female game was that more I guess I don't know if it was better competition or whatever, but it was
It
you know
it made more money
right
over in Europe.
abroad, right? It really did, yeah.
Because over in Europe they weren't able to pay the kind of price it would have cost to bring the star NBA players to come play in Europe. You were able to get the stars of the WNBA to go over there because there's a big difference between $150,000 a year and $1.5 million a year.
Right, and then they would come back and play in the WNBA as well.
Yeah.
So God bless them. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, because the European League ran in the winter
Yeah.
to where WNBA runs in spring because WNBA doesn't want to compete with the NBA.
Right, but they are also connected to the NBA. Somehow they're like
Oh, okay,
not that
so-
they're a minor league of each other, but yes,
Oh.
they're like sponsored
Yeah,
by that.
So
Yeah,
the foreign teams are picking
Yeah, the
out
only,
players.
yeah,
And,
well,
Absolutely.
we'll put it this way: the only reason why the WNBA is still in existence is because they are funded by the NBA.
All right, boys, I hate to say it, Dad. One last thing,
Already?
30 seconds.
one last
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. If you have it, if you don't, then we're out.
Okay. I can't find anything for 1 second.
All
But
right.
anyway,
All
thanks
right.
for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Marty. One last second. We got like 10 seconds. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. We'll talk about the NBA. I mean, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Because that's all we're going to have next week.
Going into the All-Star game. That's
Yep.
it.
So enjoy your sports, everybody. Thanks a lot.
I can't believe that.